Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. We have made it to the end of the week and I am back in London today, and I am currently trying to choose my outfit because I have a very back-to-back day in London. I have a meeting, and then dinner. And I've got some meetings with some really lovely brands today. The first brand that I'm going to see is Purdy, so really looking forward to that. And then my second brand, I'm going to meet Allies of Skin. The girl that I'm working with actually used to work at a brand that I worked very closely with for a very long time, and so I've got a very special place for her in my heart. And then I'm going to meet with the Fairfax and Favour team. I'm currently trying to decide what boots to wear. So I've got my favourite mahogany Uptons on. So this is kind of my outfit for the day. I've got a coat from Fairfax and Favour as well. This is the one that I shot just before Christmas, but I'm trying to decide whether I go for the Uptons or, I don't actually know what these ones are called, but these are more of like a chocolate brown. I was thinking if I go for the Uptons, I'll wear one of my Oxblood bags, and then if I go for these ones, I'll wear a chocolate bag. I can't decide. I'm thinking I'm leaning more to the Uptons because the Uptons for me, like, they have that cleanness at the front and this warm colour. If I take off the coat, because I'm wearing one of Ali's oversized blazers, if I take off the coat, I feel like it looks really nice with this knit as well. What do we think? The lighting today, it is one of those days where the sun doth not shine, okay, at all. I was in London last night for an event. I think I got to bed at like 12 o'clock. So it's one of those days, unfortunately, where we've tried to ice the face. It may not work, but excitingly, you're going to be getting an update on my collaboration with Fairfax and Favour today. I will link the boots and whichever pair I'm obviously going to wear today and my coat in the description box down below. If you don't know, I am working on a very long-term partnership with Fairfax and Favour where I am intrinsically involved in this process, where I am literally designing my own capsule collection of handbags for them. And I am so excited, you have no idea. Seeing this come to life has been one of the greatest collaborations I think I've ever been a part of. And I know that you guys are so excited about this, and I often get questions, but it's because we are literally working to make this the most beautiful, quality craftsmanship and branded collaboration that we possibly can. So we actually have a meeting room in London today, and we are going down to go through everything, sign things off, touch base, and just get clear on everything, because we are fast approaching when this collaboration will be launching, okay? Very fast approaching. I remember saying to you guys, it's gonna be a while, and now I'm like, all crumbs. It is fast approaching. So I'm gonna decide which boots to wear. I don't know what, do you know what? Sometimes I always find, I look back in like a video, but I think the Uptons, they look so gorgeous with that coat as well. Do not look at the carnage behind me, okay? Just don't do it. 3 days in London, just don't. I think it's the Uptons. I love them so much, and they're comfortable as well. These are really comfortable, to be fair. That's the thing about the Fairfax and Favour boots, is a lot of them have memory sole linings. So the Reginas, which is also another one of my favourites, they have beautiful, comfortable, soft linings. So perfect for someone like me, scurrying around London all day and then hoping to pop out for dinner and drinks. So I've got the elevation in my Uptons with this beautiful heel, and I still feel like I'm hitting that sort of town and country-esque wardrobe. So very happy about that. Do I need a belt? I feel like I might need a belt. Let's have a look. Okay, I've also had this as a bit of an idea. I love the contrast of white jeans with those muddier tones. It feels a little bit crisper. It feels very Pinterest. You see this a lot on Pinterest. I love these tones. I actually think this is a really good outfit for like farmhouse, because whenever I go to farmhouse, I'm like, what do I bloody wear? It's like muddy as hell, but like you kind of want to dress up a little bit, but it's in the countryside, and like knowing what to wear so that you feel nice as well, I always struggle with. This is definitely one, and I think these are a new pair of absolute favourite boots. The contrast stitching on these is absolutely gorgeous, and I love that they've got a bit of a heel, and alongside the tweed works so well. But I also feel like the green coat, if it was like extra chilly, would still go beautifully over the top of this. Like the tone of this is perfect to work alongside muddier tones. So if you wanted like a different feel to an outfit, I was thinking of this for heading down to London, but in all honesty, I think this is better for outside of London, in all honesty. You'll have to let me know what you think. Did I make a grave error? Who knows? The other way I was thinking of styling this was with this coat, because I feel like this coat really anchors the boots in with an outfit as well. You could probably get a blazer under this, but these chocolate tones right now, I feel like they just injected a new sense of life into my wardrobe, and I absolutely love them. This is definitely a colour that I wear and enjoy wearing so much, whether that's like in the town or whether that's in the country. I honestly don't care. This works so well. I absolutely love these boots. So I thought I'd show you a few like little bits and pieces and outfits that I have for some of my favourite Fairfax and Favour boots, and I'll link them down below as well, because you might want some to go and match your handbags when they're all done. Oh gosh. And this was the other outfit that I had in mind. If it had been a little bit warmer today, I think I would have just gone for an all black look with a little pop of burgundy in this Fairfax and Favour blazer. So as you can see on the tartan of this, there's this really lovely little bit of Merlot through there, and these fit so gorgeous and so structured, and I just feel like they fit really like nicely on the waist. So I feel like I'm wrapped up nice and warm, but still like you can see the outline and the shape of me as a human being. But I went for some black jeans, and these are the tall Regina boots, and the Reginas are iconic, but these are like, there is definitely some kind of like Nobel Peace Prize that needs to be awarded to Fairfax and Favour for these boots, because what these boots do for legs should be illegal. Like, they make my legs look 100 miles long, and they are so flattering. I just love them so much, and they last so well. The rounded toes on them are the perfect almond as well, and the rise on the boot is just like if you were wearing a real true equestrian boot, but comfortably. They are so gorgeous. I take my little tassels off sometimes because going into town, I'll take my tassels off. For going into like the countryside, I'll pop my tassels on. For a real like countryside affair, I always think of these boots as really, really versatile, because they have that real blend between town and country, which I love. And I think out of all of them, these are so versatile and so flattering. So I'll link the blazer and the boots in the description box down below. But let me know which outfit. Did I get it wrong? Did I choose the wrong outfit? You'll have to let me know, because I think I'm going to go with the green coat and the tweed and the potentially the Upton boots. Yeah, I think let me know. Okay, outfit of the day is secured. I have gone for my Upton boots with my Fairfax and Favour coat. Then I've got my husband's blazer, a little Amazon roll neck in chocolate brown, page denim. I've gone for my chocolate brown bag as well, and then I've also stolen my husband's little neck scarf. I'm sorry, but menswear, so much better than women's wear. I'm just going to throw it out there. Outfit is ready to go. I'm going to pop my Kindle in here, and I am then ready to head to London. I'm going to meet Carrie. We were like thinking dresses and that kind of thing today. The weather had other ideas, so I've popped my hair, just clipped it up. So hopefully it can either stay like that, or I can let it down when the weather decides to change its mind. But outfit to head to London. We are on the train to London, and I've got my morning coffee to help me with my little puffy bleary eyes. I actually bought some icy masks from Amazon, and they arrived yesterday, and I forgot to put them in the freezer, so they're in there now and I'm testing them out. But also Carrie has the collar from Amazon on underneath her dress. It looks so nice.
I really like it. I feel like a pretty one. It's such a so I don't want like a normal shirt collar. I want like a pretty. Yeah, like a theatrical. What was I going to say? Did you buy the dream coat from Amazon as well? So she bought dream coat from Colourwell, and we're putting it to the test. I am. It's the first usage, so I don't know if I've got enough in, because they said spray liberally. But you know when that's like a risky business, when you're like, you don't want it to look greasy as you dry it. So I sprayed liberally and styled. Now I know it's not supposed to hold a style, but it's definitely a damp and like not very wonderfully. That's why my hair's up. Day. So I was like, this is a good test for it. Yeah, so we will report back at the end of the day. Just made it to the Connaught. I'm heading down to the ladies and then I'm ready for my first meeting with Purdy. I very much enjoy coming into a hotel with a roaring fire, and the Connaught is definitely one of those. This is a gas fire, but it still adds the lovely, lovely ambiance. It is so pretty in here though. We just had breakfast with Purdy and we're on to the next port of call, I would say. Let's go. The Connaught is always one of my favourite places to come. It just feels like a cosy living room, and it is situated in such a gorgeous part of London as well, with so many good stores. You've got Goyard, you've got Jenny Packham, Oscar de la Renta is just a hop, skip and a jump down there. Then you've also got the wonderful Scots down here as well, and the Purdy store is just at the end of this street as well. Obviously this is the car I wish I was getting in, but we're getting in the black cab instead. Thank you. Have a good day. And you. Oh.
It's the Brasserie of Light entrance, please.
And just like that, you hear where we are headed next. We are on our way to meet with Allies of Skin at the Brasserie of Light, and we're gonna have a spot of lunch before our final meeting, which, how long is the Fairfax and Favour meeting?
2 hours.
2 hours, okay, good amount of time. But it was so wonderful catching up with the Purdy girls, just basically hearing what their plans are, what they're doing for the next season, also hearing new plans for their shooting school and all of that kind of stuff. They're just such a wonderful team, and they're part of such a brilliant group as well of brands. So it's just wonderful seeing what they're up to and catching up. On to the next meeting. Well, it is now raining and soggy in London, but we are heading into, I never come here anymore. It's so weird. Like, so I used to come to Selfridges all the time, and now, sorry, you've got rain on you. I used to come to Selfridges all the time, and now I never ever come here other than when I'm going to Brasserie of Light. So it's lovely to come. Thank you so much. But it's always very Brasserie of Light-esque with the lighting. But this is where we had the Evergreen event, so it's lovely to come back. But yeah, I just never shop in Selfridges anymore because I feel like it's maybe a bit too cool for me nowadays. It's a bit too trendy, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that about sections of all of them, I suppose.
No, there's something about Selfridges that's like, it's very, they have a lot more urban brands nowadays rather than like the brands that I would usually, like, put it this way, I'm never tempted to come. Whereas I would be tempted to go to Harrods, I would be tempted to go to Harvey Nichols, but I would not be on Liberty. But there's nothing here that I think,
must go.
Yeah, but it's lovely. After you, madame.
Thank you, my love.
I'm walking across all of the branded carpets today. Lovely. It's always so lovely in here. So we're choosing a glass of something to celebrate, because just love meeting up with the Allies of Skin team. And I think I'm going to go for the Pinot Grigio, only because Harry told me to go for it, so that's what we're going to have. So, second meeting finished for the day, and we had a wonderful lunch at the Brasserie of Light with Allies of Skin, and I'm very pleased to announce that I was their highest converting creator that they worked with for last year, which is always like, I have to remind myself that even though I've been in this industry so long, I'm like, oh, when I hear that, I'm just so grateful that you guys trust me that much, that you will purchase pieces from brands that maybe you are new to discover, because it is such an incredible brand. And I have to say that Nick, the owner, is one of the sweetest people I think I've come across. It's so lost in this day and age, someone to send even a handwritten note, but let alone when at Christmas time he sent me a video basically wishing me a Merry Christmas, and just, it was so lovely. I've not met him yet, but it was such a personal touch and just such a class act. So it's lovely catching up with them and seeing what they've got planned for the year ahead. We are now heading to the final meeting of the day, which is the big one. It is the big design meeting with Fairfax and Favour, and hopefully I'll be able to show you a few little bits and bobs, but I'm not going to be able to show you everything because obviously things are under wraps. I want to do a big reveal, I want to try all products and that kind of thing. So we should have an eventful meeting, but I will show you what I can. So let's head to the next destination. Where are we? Mayfair Townhouse. Woohoo! So we've just arrived to the Mayfair Townhouse and we are sitting in Oscar's study because we are about to look at the very first samples of the bag collection. Now we are aiming to keep these under wraps, so unfortunately the bags in question that we're talking about, we're actually going to strategically place behind this lovely Fairfax and Favour bag as modelled by Carrie, because we obviously want to keep this under wraps, but I'm going to show you a few little details that I think you're going to want to see, because I'm obviously looking at them for the first time now. We're going through all of the details together and I obviously want to give you a bit of a sneak peek, but I'm here with all of the team. We're starting off with the design process and then we're going to go into the sort of like PR and marketing side of things. So very, very exciting, lots to do, and we're just realizing that we've probably lucked out with a little bit of extra time now. So I'm going to set you guys up and we are going to get cracking on going through the bags.
I'm bringing up my...
I love how you all congregate down that end, out of the camera shot. I love this.
But the bags must be kept behind here so that they're not on show. So when Lydia's looking at them, they go there.
I'm completely lost now.
So,
We'll bring it as
this is our screen. This is our privacy screen.
I thought the other way. I thought they were coming here.
No, we're hiding there. We can like pretend we're in the Fairfax and Favour bag.
This is why I was putting the stuff in the closet.
All makes sense now. Yeah.
Don't invite me to any meetings, I'll just mess around.
Okay, first thing.
Oh, she's like, no, I can see the bags. Okay, do you want to go through all of them?
Yeah, exactly.
So what's this called?
So this is our gold sample. So it's a swatch. So for these samples we've got light gold.
Yeah.
But this is the gold that you selected.
Yes.
So it's just to say we know it's coming.
Okay, because I was just looking at it and I
yeah.
was thinking, oh no, is that? Yeah. Okay, perfect.
So it's just something that we'll have to work on.
My other bag is too red and this one is too brown, and I needed this morning.
Yes.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. How are we feeling about the leather?
Well, we're feeling very happy.
We're loving the leather.
So we've got this smooth box one.
Yeah.
And then we've got this one with the grain. We have a couple of corrections that we can see. What do you think about the branding?
I think it's big.
Yeah. So given all the input that you gave us, we know that the branding, it should be something like dialed down a little, and in these styles it's very successful.
I just feel like this just needs to be a little bit more delicate, but that might be a personal preference thing.
I think the only problem is when you make it too small, the England sometimes has to come off.
But as always, I am open to arguments. I want people to tell me if they think that something is because it's a partnership at the end of the day, and if you're worried that this is like not working in the branding that it is, then I need to hear the argument. I don't think on the back, because I think that you've still got the Fairfax and Favour customers that want people to, they're buying Fairfax and Favour because they love Fairfax and Favour.
Yeah.
So are you suggesting that actually it's trialled in the same positioning but reducing the size of the logo down to 3 centimetres?
I think that might, in this case, on the clutch, might be something that helps. You're up close looking at it, it's like, oh, is that a bit big?
Yeah.
But when you were carrying it there, it's actually doesn't look
so big.
No.
This has got to come from you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the colours, I think it looks really nice.
Yes.
The darker gold.
Yes. Yeah. It just, for me,
Yeah.
marries really nicely and also gives it a warmth. So we are just talking through hardware colours, and I am showing you a tiny weeny section of the bag because we're looking at the different tones. This is always my kind of preference when it comes to hardware. I just think it gives it more of like a luxe and intentional feel. And also, I just love the warmth, but we're also discussing this more champagne-y gold as well. But seeing these samples in person is very, very exciting. I hope I've not shown you too much here.
I love the different feels as well of the leather, but I appreciate that this is like a specific customer. But it does feel so good.
Oh gosh,
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Mood lighting.
No.
I think we need to. I think.
Did you like the proportion of it?
Yes.
You just feel like it's.
I just feel like
too
it's
big.
It's not a big small bag.
Yeah.
This is a small medium bag to me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
In Lydia Millen talk.
Yes.
This will hold so much.
Yeah.
Even with that reduction.
Yeah.
And will be a much more versatile bag. The one thing that's standing out to me is that this feels quite structured and this feels quite structured, but this actually looks quite soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so rigid here. It's just a thought process of how to combat the size without really having to do too much. And these feet are changing, aren't they?
Yeah, they do.
I just felt them then, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, no.
And even just from going like that, I see the size become something different. It's such a small amount, but it's just, yeah, I reckon a centimetre each side, and that just a little bit neater. And I think, as much as I would love to go smaller on the drop of the handles, I think this is the happy medium.
It looks very natural.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than my ones, and I think it's just, that will be a lot better received.
And for people to keep it in their bag.
Yeah, and also to be like, oh my god, I've got my mirror. Oh no, I didn't.
What does Marcus think? Marcus and Felix, are they happy with it?
Yeah. It's such a good way to explore different styles. You know, this is something that without you coming in, I don't think the company would have got to this kind of classic bag now. It may be a couple of years for sure. But I think it suits very well. And I think everyone's responded really well to that. And so
it's so exciting, but it's so nerve-wracking because you're like, it's such a responsibility, and I know what I like, but also often when I know what I like and I trust what I like, it works. But it's just,
it's all you can do. I think that's the whole point of this collaboration. It's a really good way for the company to explore different shapes, new leathers, things they might not have delved into, like this logo without the shield. You know, this kind of thing is going to make a big difference for us, and it's exciting for us and our aesthetic development.
It's so exciting. We really like it.
Right, so my notes on this one. The loop for the detachable strap moved to be equidistant from the loop on the back to the loop on the inside. We're going to see a sample of the angled strap attachment, but at the moment we're leaning more towards the classic strap attachment. Still feels a bit too wide, it's still currently 30 centimetres, but we're going to sample by removing 1 centimetre each side. We're removing 5 millimetres approximately down to manufacturing from the top of the internal centre gusset seam to help it sit more. That technical noise. Technical term. The sample will be remade of the burgundy with the dark brown thread stitching throughout, and the feet of these samples will be amended to the selected feet from the last meeting.
So for me, it's like, this is that rich. I think this is easier to wear.
I mean, I agree, and this is not meant in any way disrespectfully. To me, this almost looks like a cheaper coloured tan.
The other thing I will say is let's go up to the daylight because we can't choose
the light
the colour.
in here is...
Let's go and have a little look
We're going on an excursion outside to look at colours because we're downstairs at the Mayfair Townhouse in one of the meeting rooms, and we want to make sure that we're making decisions on the tones of the leather and things like that well informed, so we're taking them outside to look in the proper light. Those tiny details, but yeah, I think just knocking it back that small amount is going to make it so much more wearable throughout all of the seasons, I think.
So it's our current box. Yeah. And then you've got the wording down the side of the lid, I think it is.
So this is just a classic dust bag.
Amazing. Great.
Fantastic. So we're on to the second part of the meeting now. So we've had a little bit of a shift around with a few of the designs that we've looked at today. Just almost flipped reverse one of them because there was one that we just weren't sure about. And so now we're thinking about changing it to the other end of the spectrum. I have to be vague with these things. I can't give too much away. But now we're going to discuss the launch, events, that kind of thing, and get on to planning when all of this is going to actually be out there in the world. I can't even imagine what that's going to be like, but we're just chatting now as well about having other meetings and getting those in just so that we can see another round of samples, because getting this perfect is super important. So on to the next section of the meeting.
It's purely more from like a press event side we've gone for today, just not to kind of throw it all in one, and then obviously Nikki will take over on the photo shoot proposal.
So this is the launch event.
Okay. It's exciting.
Yeah. I might cry. I've never been there and I've wanted to go.
Okay. Very good. Nice. Come on. Sorry. Spoken well. Leads on to 9.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good.
Let's leave. We're done. sorry.
I get so excited. I like that idea. Carrie might poop on my parade.
I think we might struggle to do it the week
after.
Okay. 2 weeks after.
Okay.
I think would be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so exciting. I've never done anything like this before. This is so exciting.
We're allowing the going on the defenders.
Just a little like comment going. I've been doing it all day now.
We have zoomed across London from our Fairfax and Favour meeting, which was amazing, and I'll tell you all about it, to a place called Julie's in Notting Hill. And I have a little story to tell you about this place because I have not been here since I was about 10 years old. My dad used to have a girlfriend who lived on Cadogan Square, and we used to spend our weekends at her flat. It was actually 2 flats. She was very bougie, and she knocked them through into 1 flat, and we would spend our weekends there. And Dad used to take us rollerblading in Hyde Park, and then we would always come here for like dinner or like a drink or whatever afterwards. And then this one time my dad took us for Diet Cokes in Hyde Park and slipped over in his rollerblades and broke his shoulder blade. And I just have this vivid memory of my dad being handed a very large handkerchief to use as a sling when we were here, and him getting a lot of attention from the ladies because they felt sorry for him because he'd saved the lives of 2 Diet Cokes and shattered his shoulder blade at that point. And it's so weird because obviously that relationship didn't work out for my dad, but I still have these vivid memories, and I come to London so much and I've never been back here. So
But she's spoken about it for years.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Harvey, we're here.
Yeah. So I'm just going to send my dad a picture, and then we're going to go in and have some dinner and some drinks and just chat through everything that's happened today, because it's been a whirlwind of meetings today and just such good vibes, like good vibes meetings. I love it. And I'm so looking forward. Do you know what? One of the other memories I have of being here is the most bizarre thing. For the first time in my life, I saw a gentleman who had waist trained himself. Oh. So he had, his waist was like this big, and my tiny child brain could not understand. I was like, Dad, I don't understand why he would want to do that. and my dad was trying to explain to me as a 10-year-old like why someone would want to do that. It was just like he had like this leather corset and a white shirt. I would remember it. So anyway, let's go inside. Good evening, everyone. I left you in London as we were going into Julie's bar. I didn't actually film anything when we were in there because we were like quite close with other people, but it was so interesting going back. My dad told me that it's been under new management for years, but basically his friend at school's parents used to own it. And he used to take lots of like his clients from business trips and things like that for dinner there, but he did say that it wasn't as good when it went under new management. And I would say that the service was okay. The food was also, it was okay. But I have been at the stables today and I thought I would update you on that. It was a really good day at the stables. I didn't take you with me because at the moment I'm really just focusing on like me and him, and I just don't even want to think about like capturing it. I just want to be completely present with him and like having all of my energy focused on him. And it was a really great day at the stables for me. It was a little bit more of a difficult one for Claudia, and me trying to spin that in a positive way, it helped me, but that's a selfish way of looking at it, and I felt really bad for her just because Romeo's obviously been resting, and so we went on his first hack since he's been having his procedure, and so he just wants to go, he wants to have fun, and so she was sort of, he gets quite sprightly in his steps and he's like on his toes, and so I think she was having a difficult time, which it's hard. It's hard, isn't it? Because it's comforting to know that she struggles too sometimes, because she is honestly like, I look at her and she's phenomenal. She's just, you know, an absolute powerhouse as a horse mum, and she just, I sometimes she does things and I just can't get my head around it. And so to see her have a bit of a wobble herself, I'm sure she won't mind me sharing this, made me feel so much better, and also made me feel better about being more vulnerable with you guys in my videos, because I think maybe you guys seeing me wobble a little bit might actually be helpful too. But it was really good for me in a sense that Atlas was so calm. I really worried that he would like meet Romeo's energy, but he was like, no, we're going, this is fine. So we did our first little walking hack, which felt like, I literally looked at Claudia, I was like, can you believe that we're riding our horses together? Like 4 years ago when I first turned up at the yard to ride with you, did you ever think that we would be at this point? So that was really lovely. And then we went into the school for a little bit, and that was just really lovely as well. And we did a little tiny canter together. I'm waiting to the point where I like to do things when I feel comfortable. And he just kind of moved into it on his own, and I really quite like that anyway. And he's got such a lovely canter and it's such a lovely transition into it as well. It's so smooth and he's just so lovely to ride that I honestly feel like I could cry again. And I know that there's gonna be so many tears, it's a lot. But anyway, also my meeting with Fairfax and Favour, oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. It was, you know when you feel like a partnership is just everything you hoped it would be? Like, I think this is exactly what this is with them. I feel like the luckiest girl in the world designing with them like this, with the team. Everyone is so nice. Like, there's no weird energy or anything like that. It's just everyone wants to do a good job, and everyone's job role in it, they want to do a good job, and I want to do a good job. And so it's just so wonderful seeing this come to life, and seeing those first samples was incredibly exciting. And we really aligned on so many of the changes that we made. There was a colour change that I know that I mentioned in there that was unforeseen, and we're trying our best to sort of like tweak it so that we can do it, because I think it will make all of the difference. And we actually found a really great way to introduce a really special bag, which I'm almost like, is this bag gonna be the best bag ever? So I'm really intrigued to see the next round of samples. We're going to be having more meetings together as well. We also started the process of planning the event that we're going to do with this. And you'll know that I have shied away from doing events. Like in my previous life as an influencer,
I feel like I'm in a new life at the moment, but I've shied away because I always had this feeling of like being on the back foot in this industry, and I just never felt like I wanted to put myself out there in that way and invite people to something. I think I've always described it as like feeling like your 10th birthday party and inviting everyone at school and then worrying that no one's going to turn up. And I've obviously done my event with Sinead Keary, I've done my Evergreen event, and I did 2 events with Sinead Keary as well. And I think that's filled me with so much more confidence in my abilities now that I actually, for the first time ever, have said I would really like to have input into the guest list as well. I've actually never had any input into, obviously my Evergreen event was just you wonderful lot, but I've never had any input because I just never wanted to feel like I was putting myself out there. But I do on this one, and I think it's going to be super, super special. All of their ideas, it just feels so authentic and so like in synergy and so perfect for the launch of this collection, because they're really allowing me to take risks and introduce a whole new dimension to the bag offering at Fairfax and Favour. So I think this is going to be something super new for them, and hopefully you'll be able to see my influence and my part that I've played in this. And I cannot thank Marcus and Felix enough, and the girls that I get to work with so closely on this collaboration, because first of all, like, I think I'm the first influencer that they've ever partnered with in this way. So for me, that is just, for them to believe in me in that way, I just can't believe it. But then to be able to work with them so authentically, I think you just don't get this kind of opportunity often. And so I am very, 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 very excited for you to see this. Obviously I've shared a little sneaky peeks and bits and bobs here and there, but I think it's going to be wonderful to have it come to life like that. And I'm jumping back to Atlas, my horse, now as well, because I'm just all over the shop. But I've been at the stables all morning, and then I opened up my phone to a few messages from Charlie, and there were some videos that she had sent me, and so I couldn't listen to them because I was with the horses, so I was like, I'll listen to them when I'm in the car. And I get in the car and I listen to them, and basically she had met up with one of Atlas's previous owners. So basically what happened was, I can tell you a little bit more about him. Sorry, if you're not interested, you can skip ahead. But basically he was at Kingston Riding School. He was then purchased by the gentleman that is in the video that I'm about to show you. And Atlas actually taught him how to ride. He was then sold to another lady, and then that lady sold Atlas to Charlie. So if you don't know, the horse world, it's always something I've found a bit strange as well, but it's the done thing a lot of the time, is that you might have a horse for a period of time that teaches you a few things, or just teaches you the basics. He's a really good horse to like teach people how to ride on. I think I'm gonna get Ali on him. And then you might think that you want something a little bit more than that. I don't think I'll ever want more than him. I'm so happy in that comfort with him. However, I may one day be forced into that decision. But the gentleman let Charlie know a lot about his name. So anyway, I'm going to pop in those videos now so that you can watch them, where he basically talks about his time with Atlas and how he did his first fences with Atlas, but also a little bit more about his name. So I'll pop that in here.
I was out on a bike ride with Coco Riding, and I came across David, and David is the man who bought Colin from Kingston Riding School. You learnt to ride on him, didn't you?
I did.
I've got emotional talking to you about this.
That's right. More than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He was bored at Kingston Riding Centre. He wasn't doing enough work, and I knew the people at Kingston Riding Centre, and they recommended that he'd be great for me to learn to ride on, which I've done. And he took me hunting, he took me over my first hedges, and always took care of me. He's a wonderful, wonderful horse.
Yeah. And David was just saying, when he came to you, because I've just shown David some pictures of him now, when he came to you, his markings were quite different, weren't he? He was really skewbald.
Yeah, he very much so. He was basically black with 2 white splodges, really. Yeah. He wasn't grey at all.
And he's just got lighter and lighter.
Lighter and lighter, yeah. But it's lovely for me to have seen the journey, because Hayley, who
I bought him from.
Yeah, who I sold him to her for her husband who had never ridden, and he took him hunting for 2 or 3 seasons and took very good care of him as well. But he's ended up having a wonderful life, and that's so nice to do.
It's really lovely. And then I obviously had him for 3 years, and now he's gone on to Lydia. So I was just updating David, saying, you know,
that's
sharing
wonderful.
the news. And David
so nice.
sweetly said he'd come on and talk to you all, because I thought it just was actually lovely for.
And that's
for
the nice thing about
know.
horses. I'm just doing a bit of gardening with my fence and things, and just driving by, and I hear about the horse I had 10 or 12 years ago. It's kind of 12 years ago. It was just wonderful. Lovely, lovely horse.
Yeah, such a lovely horse, isn't he?
Thank you for letting me know.
Oh, it's lovely. Thank you, David,
nice
for chatting
to meet you,
to
really.
me.
Okay, bye.
So David and I were just talking about Colin's name and how it came about.
And the story is that when he came to me 14 years ago, I think it was now, I've just thought about it, he was called Atlas. And I am the guilty party who changed his name to Colin. So if there's anybody to blame, it's me! Hurrah, hurrah, it's me!
So that's how he got his name, Colin, because of David.
It's my fault. I take the blame.
Yes,
I am the one
Kingston,
to blame.
because he was at Kingston Riding School.
That's where
so
he was called.
Kingston Atlas.
Yes.
Yeah, David, thank you.
That's a pleasure, anytime.
Okie dokie. So you've probably heard that he was actually, I can't believe it, it literally stopped me in my tracks. He was called Atlas for pretty much 50% of his life, over 50% I think. So he's actually been Colin far shorter, and it was actually the gentleman in the video who changed his name to Colin. So I think that's probably why he is so responsive from us to Atlas. That all we have found is that he is more responsive and much more engaged with Atlas. That's just from us using his name. And so I think from this, I've just decided that for me, I knew that he was Atlas. That's so weird that I didn't know that he was actually called that. And yet he just instantly stood out. So I think Colin will always be his middle name. And sometimes I might call him Colin because he's being a Colin. But to me, he's an Atlas. He is Atlas. And I think that Charlie sharing that and Charlie telling me about it and taking the time to even let me know, genuinely, like, it all made sense, because I just couldn't understand why instantly. I hadn't even like met him, but just looking at him, he was an Atlas. And obviously I know that people don't understand that horses have their names changed sometimes. It is a strange world, the horse world. And I could see a lot of people say, oh, you know, you wouldn't want someone to change your name. And it's like, well, no, but I obviously have a say in that. And also, nobody owns me. Someone obviously owns a horse. And it's the same with like dogs. If a dog is rehomed, sometimes people will rename their dogs a different name. I don't know if you've been following the dog that's gone viral on the internet, who was starved, and she was like a black curly dog, but she was starved, and they called her Violet. Her original name was Coco, but she's called Violet now. This is something that happens a lot, and so I will always say to people in the comments, if you want to call him Colin, you absolutely can. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me in the slightest, because at the end of the day, when I'm in the yard or when I'm at his paddock, it just matters what he responds to. And so if you think he's a Colin, if you think it's sad that his name is going to be changed, that is absolutely fine. We're just doing what's presenting itself as seemingly, when you're trying to be the best person that you can and the best mum that you can, the right thing to do. And the right thing to do for us. And I know that Claudia is like, I'm not calling him Colin, I'm calling him Atlas all the time. So it's been a funny old time, but also just so I couldn't get my head around it, that he was called that and I had no idea it had actually been his name. So anyway, very, very lovely few days. It's nice that I'm now like off the back of the 3 days in London, and I managed to spend a good, it must be 4 hours at the stables today. I just gave him a good brush and he's calmed and settled so happily. And so now I'm at home, Ali is cooking a roast. I'm gonna try again to make my bone broth. And I am pretty much, I came home to him having lit all the candles, classical music tinkling away in the bedroom. I've had a hot shower because I actually stank of horse piss. And I'm gonna slump on the sofa with my Kindle and just read, because I'm having a very chilled weekend, and I'm going to be back at the stables tomorrow. Good morning, everyone, from a very sunny, a little bit frosty, but bright Sunday
Oh, it is so wonderful waking up to the sun streaming through these windows. I actually just love it so much. Ali, sorry for the just got out of bed look, but we both had a bit of a lay-in today because we were up. I was up reading, finished my book, and Ali was watching programmes. I actually think it's quite good that I'm reading more this year because it means you get to watch all the programmes that you watch.
Yeah, I get to watch war.
Yeah, Ali just loves like war things. You know what I'm like? I'm always like, don't watch things that like cause you distress, and then my husband is like watching the most distressing things.
I don't find them distressing.
It's so weird.
In that sense, I find them I'm like fascinated.
Yeah.
I like the history.
I literally sometimes look up and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I just can't believe what you're watching. If you've got any tips, I don't know if you do that with your husband, whether one of you sits there and reads and one of you watches TV. I really don't want to go and sit in another room and read because I really like us sitting together. Now, my grandma and grandpa, my grandma used to have her own little nook away from where my grandpa would watch TV, and as much as it like worked for them, I kind of don't want that. I want to still sit in the same room as my husband in the evenings, otherwise what are we doing? And so I would love it if you have any tips for me to not like be distracted. I don't think I could put headphones in.
That's the only option.
No,
me or you put headphones in.
Well, maybe you could put headphones in. Well, anyway, any tips? Let me know. However, we're popping out to the greenhouse at the moment because my greenhouse had its yearly window clean and a little spruce on the inside, just a little clean up, and we need to put some of the lemon trees back. I'm a little bit worried about my lemon trees. The thing is, I don't know whether it's because I watered them or whether I used a feed. I thought, oh yeah, I should probably give them a feed about now. And after I put the feed in, I don't know what it was. Maybe this feed was gone off or something, but it doesn't look like it's agreed with them. So I'm a bit worried about them. But we're going to go out and have a check. I've got a busy day. I did my bone broth last night, so I need to jar that up. I am going to the stables today as well because the saddle fitter is coming, and also one of the grooms, Jess, is leaving. So there's a little bit of like a leaving party as well. And I feel like I've got so much to do and I can't remember it. Carnage.
Right. Point and I shall play.
Yeah, see these.
They don't look good.
I gave them this feed.
You think you poisoned them?
And I just can't understand what happened. Oh, well, I have to say, some of you had a very, very, very good idea. You suggested that Mr. Stick got an upgrade, and this has been transformative for me in my greenhouse. If there's ever something that I'm not quite sure, obviously it has its limitations, but I'm able to pick up like even like watering cans. Like, look at this. I can pick up watering cans that have been under tables and have no issues whatsoever. I can pick up pots, I can turn them over. This was such a good idea. I literally ordered this on Amazon and it has been a life changer, an actual life changer. So very, very happy about that. We have our first greenhouse sprouts of the year. I'm going to show you them as well. But basically all the windows had a really good clean. It's just kind of defrosting because it's been a bit of a frosty start. But the first little salad sprouts. So these are lettuce all year, and these are just coming through in here. Got more on this side as well. Look at those little guys, although I can see some little mounds. However, broad beans, we're not seeing oh, I can see some sprouts from broad beans. Look at that. This is so exciting. So exciting. As you can see, this is how things are looking in here at the moment. Obviously, my lemon trees, oh my gosh, I'm just hoping that they are going to be okay. I think this one and this one was the worst hit, but their new sprouts are looking okay at the moment. It was just so bizarre. So I don't know if I'll use that organic matter again. Like, this one over here really doesn't look good. I'm so worried because they are like my pride and joy. And so I'm just going to leave them alone, let them do their thing. They were actually doing fine. I don't know why I bothered or even felt like they needed a feed because they were doing so well. So hopefully now as it starts to warm up, they'll like get a little bit better. But Mr. Stick 2.0, I'm gonna need to get like a little hook or something for him to just be hung here because he's so good. I'm so happy that I've got him. What a game changer. So if you're a fellow person trying to battle and get better with their phobias of spiders, Mr. Stick 2.0. We are also starting to see the first signs of bulbs and life in pots and beds. This is why I still find that it's too early for me just yet to have bulbs coming up in my home. I always like it to be really, really reflective of what nature is doing where we live. And at the moment it's just too soon. So I reckon second week of February, I'm gonna start thinking about getting some bulbs inside. But for the most part, just yet, I'm not there. The woodland is just looking so gorgeous. I've not even walked down there yet to check on the snowdrops. I saw my first snowdrops yesterday when I was on a hack with Atlas and Romeo. We saw the first like actual blooms of snowdrops and it was just wonderful. These funny ladies waiting to come in. You pooed all on the patio, you silly moos. Good morning, everyone. I am en route to the stables, as mentioned. I am wearing my favourite sausage dog brooch that my assistant got me for Christmas. It's like a felt little chocolate sausage dog, and it looks so lovely on like chocolate brown jumpers and things like that. As mentioned, we are going for a saddle fitting this morning, but also the stable girl is leaving today. So I have got a little bottle of Prosecco from Dalesford, and I've also managed to pot up a little sweet pea for her. And I am very much looking forward to a sunny day at the stables. Oh my gosh, every time I go there it's like dark and grey, so it'll be interesting to see how busy it is today. And you know what, I'm completely changing the subject. I was thinking about something this morning and I really wanted to give you my perspective on this because I think you might find it super interesting. I don't know if you've seen, but Barbour and Erdem have collaborated, and they are two really, really iconic like British brands. Obviously Erdem I am a huge fan of. I have bought so many of their pieces and I love everything that they do. And the same goes for Barbour. I've got like quite a few Barbers now, and I just think that they're such a gorgeous brand, and they basically collaborated on a really, really beautiful collection, and I can't deny it is absolutely stunning. And if I didn't have Barbour jackets already, I think I would probably buy the Barbour jacket that has the like almost like the shadow print of flowers on it. However, you'll know, I've told you this before, one of the biggest realizations for me when I wanted to sort of change my approach to fashion was when Fendi and Versace collaborated, and there was like Fendace, and then there was like Gucci North Face, and it was all of these collaborations, and I realized that these were essentially just the Balmain times H&M that used to happen like in the early days of blogging. They were flash in the pan moments, and whilst I love what both of these brands are doing and I love the freshness, I'm not buying anything from Erdem and Barbour. That's just because I already have a classic Barbour. I don't need a fashion Barbour. Obviously, if you don't have a Barbour, or you really feel like this is going to add something to your wardrobe in a like longevity sense, absolutely do it. Absolutely buy it. It's a beautiful, beautiful collection. I just think sometimes these collections make us feel like we need to buy in order to be a part of something, and I feel it too. And so I just wanted to mention that I'm not purchasing anything because I've got 3 Barbour jackets. I don't need any more. I think in our industry it's wonderful if we like get to tell you about these things and about these collections. I really enjoy being able to say that, you know, oh, this is coming out and what have you, but I also just want to remind you to be like a
conscious shopper, because it's so easy to feel like you need to have something or to be a part of something, and you don't. If you've got a Barbour jacket, by all means just love your Barbour jacket. You could even pop a little flower on it to feel like you're part of that collection. But in all honesty, just remember that you're going to have to wear this jacket for a long time. Barbour jackets are designed to withstand the test of time and to be in your wardrobe, and so is the like Erdem collections. They're heirloom pieces, so they're coming together. It doesn't mean that this is going to date unless you think you're going to get a lot more wear out of a classic Barbour without the designs on. So all I wanted to say was that I'm not buying anything. I love the collections so much, and if I didn't have 3 Barbour jackets already, I would potentially buy one of them, but I'm not going to, because I don't need it. I don't need to buy a piece from the collection in order to show that I got it or anything like that. I've got a Barbour, I wear it so much, I love it so much, that's all I need. If you are someone that often wears like floral prints, I think personally I can add floral prints to my Barbour jacket through different pieces in my wardrobe. I don't need to have the floral prints on the jacket, and I really hope that these brands don't think I'm being negative about them. I think what I'm trying to do is just remind people that you don't always need to rush to buy these things, because I often feel that in my position as an influencer, I need to be the first. I need to have this first before anyone else, so it looks like I've got my finger on the pulse. And the truth is, I think it's an absolutely beautiful collection, and if you want a piece from that collection, absolutely buy it. It is so worth it, but you don't need it. You don't need it, and I don't need it, and so I'm just letting you know that I'm not buying it because I don't need it. Anyway, heading to the stables. I go so slowly in this car, people get so frustrated. I might film some bits whilst I'm there, I might not. Obviously, I'm trying my best not to let my content be just equestrian content. However, at the moment, whilst Atlas and I bond, whilst we get, you know, whilst we build that bond together, there might be a little bit more of us. And also I'm excited, I've got a new puppy. My January puppy this year was a little bit bigger. So I thought I'd show you quickly. This is the little bottle of Prosecco for Jess. And then in here, now this is the cutest little thing. I was actually sent these a while ago. These are little gift bags from a brand called Sewn. It used to be Sewn by Bee, but now I think she's changed her name to Sewn. And she sent me these a while ago, and I didn't really know what to use them for. And now I've potted up a little sweet pea for Jess in here, in this little bag, in an old terracotta pot. And I thought this was the perfect bag to give it to her in. I don't know if she grows things, I haven't known her very long, but hopefully she'll be able to plant these in her garden with her little boy and have some flowers throughout the summer. But yeah, I thought that they were so cute. Sorry, you can't see it very well because of the sun. It's just like little embroidered gifting pouches. These are so good if you don't want to use wrapping paper, because they can be reused, and I thought that was so sweet. You can't be sleeping, come on! Good afternoon, monsieur! Good afternoon! This rug just isn't working for you, is it, you and your big neck? How you been? How you been? Did you have a good night? Hi. 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 Good boy. Good boy. Lads. We're going inside. Going inside. Come on. Good boys. Good boys. When's Mummy coming, hey? You've got bedhead today, Atlas. You've got bedhead. How have you got it under your armpit? How have you got it there? Good boy. Good boy. Look at you two. Look at you two. What are you doing? See your little moustache? Look at your little moustache. Yeah? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Let me do your eyes. Let me do your eyes. Who's farted? Who's farted? Is it you? You farted. Alice, stop grooming him. You don't need to groom him. You don't need to groom him. You don't. You don't. Look at you. Look at you. You're being all big and strong. Yes. Auntie Claudia's giving you a little runaround. Auntie Claudia's giving you a little runaround. Oh, yes, look at that snoot. That happy little snoot. Been a good boy. You've been a good boy. Cut over your kingdom. I'm realising that this horse has a bigger fan club than most influencers. Like, everywhere he goes, someone will come up to me and say something about how wonderful he is. And today we were chatting to a couple in the yard, and they were saying how they love how he does everything with like a face of kindness, so that he just gets away with everything. I'm like, yeah. But it's so wonderful. It's like he's lived 10,000 lives. He's a very, very, very special horse. And I feel so blooming lucky. I've actually hit the jackpot. So we're currently doing a saddle fitting with the wonderful Antonia, and we've just tried the most beautiful Fairfax saddle on him. It's just, his current saddle is gorgeous and it fits him really, really well. It's quite uncomfortable for both of us when we ride it. So at the moment we've got a different brand, I can't remember what it's called, but the Fairfax one at the moment, obviously most expensive one, is my favourite, but Claudia is giving this one a try. I've just tried 2 different saddles on him, and I think she's just making some alterations in the back of her van. I can't believe that she literally just takes it out there and just makes the changes. So the one that Claudia just tried is a Kent and Masters saddle, and she thought it was very lovely. However, I want her to try the Fairfax saddle because I think she's going to absolutely love it. But also, this is, I forgot I had this. This is the 16 Cypress chocolate brown saddle pad, and it just looks gorgeous on him. Love the chalky brown. We're the chocolate brown crew, aren't we? Show them your nails.
Yeah, nails that match.
Nails that match. Well, that was a magical day at the stables. We just sat around and had leaving drinks for one of the grooms at the stables, and it was so nice meeting everyone. Honestly, just so lovely. Atlas got a very lovely new saddle today as well, which I have to say, the Fairfax saddle, oh, it was so comfortable that I just thought, you know what, we deserve this. We absolutely deserve this, both of us, and we've really turned a corner just in being together. I just put him to bed, put his pajamas on, gave him his dinner, and now I'm heading home to my boys to snuggle on the sofa and read my book. Oh, it is a beautiful, beautiful evening as well today. My goodness me, look at that. What an evening, hey? What a sunrise. Ah, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. It's starting to feel like spring. It never comes across on camera how beautiful the skies are, but just look at that. Over the muddy fields, it is, what an evening. I can't even put it into words, it's so beautiful. Feeling like the proudest mum right now. The fire is lit. These 2 boys have been fed. Atlas was fed, Lumi's fed, Chicken's fed, and I have jarred up all of my bone broth for the week. I'm not sure if it's going to be as good as the first batch. I think it might be a little bit less flavoursome. We didn't have any leeks, and I forgot to put in the peppercorns, but that's all jarred up. I've tidied up my dressing room ready for the morning because it's Monday tomorrow, and I definitely feel like this weekend was very definitive in my journey with Atlas. I feel like he has settled in so beautifully now. Claudia has been working on his like stable etiquette, so getting him to step back when we walk into the stables and that kind of thing, and it has just been wonderful. And then getting his new saddle, which, I mean, he didn't need a new saddle. The saddle that Charlie had for him fitted him beautifully. It was just a little bit too uncomfortable for my Falula. And we had her out just to make sure that everything was like all good for him. But the moment I tried that Fairfax saddle, nothing else could compare. So that was that. But the thing that I think is really lovely is that I have his old saddle, and I don't think I showed you these, but basically she sent me pictures of Atlas like 10 years ago when he was a hunt horse, when he was teaching his old owners to ride. And you are not going to believe these pictures. I'll start putting a few of them on the screen here, but people are often shocked when I say, oh, he's a skewbald. You kind of see it in person, but I think in pictures a lot of people think that he's grey, but he's a skewbald. And it shows how it was around about 2014 when he started going more grey, and he used to have big like dark grey splodges all over him, and he was so, I mean, he's still so smart. He just all of a sudden just went mostly white. So it was just, honestly, I feel like I've learned so much about him, but also just found my peace with him. Like, I can't tell you. But what I love is that I've got his old saddle and I can use it as decor in the house. What I think I might have made is a really beautiful, or I might find an old, have you got something wrong with your ears, my love? What is wrong? I might find an old like saddle stand and just have it displayed somewhere in the house, because it's his saddle and it's served him so well over the years. It is still so beautiful and it's worn in all of the right places. And so I think that we'll definitely do that. I also started a new book last night. I finished my book, which was called To Gain What's Lost. And in all honesty, I don't really understand why it was called that. It was lovely. It was a lovely, easy read. There wasn't too much sort of ups and downs. It was a very nice read. But I have now started Raising Hair by Chloe Dalton, and I think I am going to love this. This book has such high ratings on Amazon, and it's not too long either. And I feel like it's going to be really, really lovely. And it's already, even on Kindle, such a gorgeous book. Look at the illustrations, because it is all about, I believe, Chloe, who moves to the countryside during lockdown and ends up raising a baby hare, and it's written beautifully. That's the thing. And also the vocabulary is just slightly above my pay grade, so there's lots of words that I maybe haven't come across before, and I actually really enjoy reading that way as well, because I like the fact that on my Kindle I literally just press and it tells me what the words mean, and that makes me feel like I'm learning, and I love learning. So that is where we have been at over the last day or so. Such an exciting few days and such a wonderful weekend. I feel so lucky for everything that's just going on at the moment. I feel so lucky that I have Atlas. I feel so lucky that I'm working on this collaboration with Fairfax and Favour. By the way, Fairfax Saddles and Fairfax and Favour, two different brands. But yes, really just so grateful that I'm working on this collaboration with them, and it's just such an exciting time. Such an exciting time. Also very exciting time at home in terms of like the garden and stuff like that, because it was such a gorgeous day today. It really was. Anyway, I'm going to read my book and I'm going to cozy in front of the fire with my boys. Alabaki. Also, I feel like I wasn't very like cohesive with what I was telling you earlier about the Erdem and Barber collaboration. What I wanted to say was, like, if you've got a Barber jacket, it's unlikely that you're going to need to buy anything unless you're really tempted by it and that's your style and that's what you love. I just think that if you don't have a Barber jacket and those prints and those sort of Erdem inspired, and you just really think you're going to get the wear out of it, I would always say absolutely go for it. But I think as much as I love both of these brands, you don't always need to purchase these things. And I am more saying this to reassure myself, because when I saw it, I was like, oh, I need that.
and I realise I've got 3 Barber jackets. I don't need that. I don't need it. It would be lovely to have one, but the truth is I have enough. I have enough Barber jackets. I have enough jackets, and so I want things to be a little bit more. Is that your tummy or my tummy? Look at his tail. Stop trying to kiss me. Do you mind not licking my ear, please? That would be very nice. So that's kind of what I was saying, was that like it's a beautiful collaboration, and if it's what you like, then absolutely go for it. I'd rather spend my money on something else because I have enough Barber jackets. You can tell I'm reassuring myself on this one because I really, really want it. I really want it, but I don't need it, and that's the difference. Wanting something and needing something is 2 different things, and I really hope that my Barber jackets and my Erdem dresses stand me in good stead for many, many, many years. However, I can wear those things separately. I don't need to wear them at the same time. And Lydia, don't get caught up in the hype around things. Just buy, like, Barbers are a workhorse. You don't need another one because those 3 that you've got are going to last a lifetime. If I do it and I buy it, you have my full permission to tell me off. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I want it. I don't need it. I want it. I don't need it. When it comes to things like dresses, I often need lots of different dresses because I go to different events, and that's a very different thing. But this, I want, I don't need. I want, I don't need. I'm going to put my phone in the cupboard. I want, I don't need.